How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. Tonight is that Sunday night members only show that we open up to the public. We're going to be doing questions and answers. I got a lot of wild questions that came from a lot of fans. There was actually one question that came. I I never thought that somebody would ask or make a statement in the comments that I did not have the control to, or gall to throw up onto the podcast. But this one was one that was so far close to pushing those community guidelines where I was like, yeah, I don't think I could play that. But summarizing it, there was a fan that came up and asked, what is she supposed to do? She was dating this guy, the guy that she allowed him to do things while she was asleep, and then they went on vacation, and then she got drunk and blacked out, and then he did things while she was sleeping. Then she asked, like, is that good? And what should she do about it? Because he was proud of what he did, and she was offended by what he did. And, now they're not on good terms. I got questions and answers and all that for, but I was just like, wow. I couldn't put the whole like detailed story on the show. It just threw me through a whole nother loop. So yeah, we got some other ones that's up here that's at least a little bit more community guidelines friendly. But on the private shows, yeah, we'll throw up some really dark stuff. So keep your eyes out for that. Join the membership, like and subscribe. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you're on TikTok side. I really appreciate you guys popping in. But over here on the bottom left side, bottom right side, because this is my right hand, bottom right side, you have the subscription button over here, and it does take you to YouTube where you can join a membership. Well, subscribe on the YouTube page, but you bounce back over. You hit back on your iPhone, hit back on your Samsung S24, and then you'll be notified by us while we're live. Rocking it out on the show. It lets you know a little bit before time and then a little bit after time. If you join the membership, you'll be able to dive in on some of our merchandise, get some massive discounts on that, alongside the affiliate stuff that we got going on. So as you guys are diving in, we're doing some Q&As, and by all means, if you want to jump into these Q&As, apparently over here on TikTok, you guys can actually just request to dive in, and I make something work where you end up diving in. As you can see, that just came up on the screen. Off to the left side for me, probably right side for you, unless your screen is tilted sideways. The rest of you guys that are on Twitch and Twitter and YouTube, you see in the comment section right now, we've got the link popping into the comment section. If you click that link and then approve the mic, approve the camera, put you into the green room, then you end up popping up on the screen in real time. You get to talk to us straight up face to face on all the topics that we got going on. Give yourself a shout out to all you homies and whatnot, and put your 2 cents in onto the show. So just remember, we're live 7 days a week, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 5 Pacific. And without further ado, I do want to go ahead and get us crunk with starting these some wild comments. They're going to start off short to long. They're going to go from not so bad to I can't believe they just said that. And let's go ahead and get this ball rolling.
I have a question I have been wondering for a while. Do black men colorize black women?
Oh, shit. Okay, so I said that it wasn't going to be heavy, but let me rephrase that. Okay, so the questions are probably going to be heavy. It's just that the answers are not going to be as heavy. The answers are going to be heavy as we go along. But she's asking, do black men colorize black women? I can tell you right now off the top of my head, no, hell no, of course not. And I see you got a couple brothers jumping into the platform right now, and I know y'all can dive in and co-sign on this. We don't like bullshit. That's what the thing is. We don't like dealing with disrespect. We got enough people that disrespect us on a daily basis because of social classism, colorism, or whatever you want to call it, gender bias, all these other things. We got people treating us like shit on a regular basis. When we come back to the house, we don't want somebody at our house fussing and arguing and bitching at us about the stuff that's going on in the house. If we don't have a partner in the house, we don't have a partner. So we're not really dealing with avoiding black women because they're black. We're avoiding bad attitudes. If they just happen to be black women, we're avoiding the bad attitudes. We don't like the disrespect. We don't like being talked down to. We don't like them disrespecting our mothers because they don't like what's going on. We don't like them talking about our childhood because of what's going on in the situation. Like my childhood happened so many decades ago that we should not be talking about childhoods right now, because this isn't an intervention where I'm complaining about myself. This is an intervention where I'm telling you that you did something wrong. Or this is an intervention where the woman is complaining about the fact that she didn't get whatever it is she was expecting to get, but she's not kicking out into the situation. Men have to experience this on a regular basis. We have to deal with these females that we pick the wrong ones more often than not, fellas. And I just got to tell you that right now. I'm going to be explaining this in detail later on in the show based off of questions like this one. We pick the wrong females for the wrong reasons. And then when we get the bad attitudes, they don't contribute to the situation, but they're taking everything out of the situation. And then when they want more than what you got to give or what you're willing to give, then they start treating you bad. Yeah. We start seeing the signs, we start seeing the behavior. And then as we start seeing those signs of behavior, we start pulling away. And when guys start gravitating away from negative behavior, disrespectful behavior, non-contributing behavior, non-partner-like behavior, the kind of that you're not girlfriend material, you're not wife material. And guys that are, especially as we get older, we're looking for wife material. We're looking for girlfriend material. We're looking for long-term companionships. We're looking for partners. We're looking for somebody that's going to aid us in being more successful so that we can take our success and share it with her. So if we're in a situation with a female that's not going to be that, you want the finished product so that you can enjoy the wealth, but you're not willing to help build the wealth, and we don't want to have nothing to do with you. So we're not gravitating away from women or avoiding women because of the color of the skin. We're just avoiding their fucked up ass behavior and their fucked up ass attitude. So unless you disagree with me, make it make sense, go ahead and tell me what you got going on. You can always throw something into the comments unless you want to get onto the show and say it live. I take all challenges. Let's go ahead and move on to the next question.
Hey, 30-year-old male here. After my ex-girlfriend, who was 34, cheated on me with her friend, I learned a painful lesson. It's been really hard to meet and find someone in their 30s. Most women I meet have a kid or kids. I tried dating someone with a child in the past, and it was a disaster and traumatic, so I can't do that anymore. Dating apps are terrible, and meeting people in real life is tough. All my friends are married or have kids, and are moving forward with their lives, while I'm here having no luck. I feel like the people you are interested in aren't interested in you, and people who like you, you aren't interested in them. How do I work around this problem?
Well, that's going to be one of the biggest issues that we have in dating these days is that when you're getting on a dating platform, there's a lot more ghosting than what you think. You get on there, you select all of this stuff on what you like about certain people, what kind of characteristics that you like. The app will show you profiles that you're interested in. You like those profiles and see how many of them kick back. Likewise, somebody else on the opposite side is getting the same thing. Your profile is shown to somebody who likes you. Now, the person that likes you is definitely not going to be the person that you like. So if you were trying to call yourself dating, right, on through the social media apps, the ones that are going to be like swipe left if you don't like them, swipe right if you do like them. Now, if you're going to be on these types of social media apps, what you would have to do is date backwards, interact backwards. And what do I mean by that is only comment to the ones that comment to you. Only evaluate the ones that have liked your profile. And what do I mean by that? The old saying, I had a Jamaican tell me one time, love who loves you, brother. And what that means is that you're halfway there if the person is interested in you. Now, the plus and the minus of that is that whoever you pick out of the selection of people who picked you will accept you for who you are because they already chose you. Now, the downside is that you might not be looking at the type of people that you want to look at because, for example, if you're on a dating platform and you're in your 30s, you might end up with women that are in their late 30s, late 40s, late 50s. They're clicking on your profile because you're attractive to them. The girls that are in their early 30s and late 20s and early 20s might not be clicking on your platform. You might be interested in girls that are in their 20s because you're in your early 30s, and the girls that are in their 20s are not interested in you unless you show your profile where you got a lot of wealth. Then in that situation, the only women that you have to select are the middle-aged women. Now, the problem that you're going to have with the middle-aged women or the old women is that those women are set in their ways. They're not willing to change their behavior or their expectations to meet your desires and your values. So that puts you in a compromising position because out of the women that you have to select, you're going to be dealing with bullet wounds, stretch marks, and C-sections and stretched out tattoos. And you're going to be hoping to God that one of them is actually going to be the kind of woman that you would hope for them to be, but they're not going to make themselves the kind of woman that you want them to be. They are already the woman that they are comfortable with, which does not necessarily have to be the type of woman that is compatible with the man, but the men must accept her for who she is, even though she's not going to accept him for who he is. He's got to have certain criteria for her to accept him. She's not just going to take him because he's cute. She's going to take him because his credit score is a certain level and his finances are a certain level, and he has a certain physique with a certain height and certain skin complexion. If he doesn't meet all of those criteria, all of them, not some of them, she's not giving him a chance. So, sir, to answer your question, pretty tough question, but to answer your question, you would do better in reality, talking to people in your area. If you can't find someone in your area, go to a different area. But you would do better doing it the old-fashioned way, talking to people in person, hopefully getting to know them in person, and then potentially building something a little bit more long-term. If you wait on an algorithm to show you the type of person that is good for you, you're not going to find the right person over the app. And if you do find the right person, the other problem that you're going to have is that the right person that you find is going to be on the other side of the world. And then you have to figure out how you're going to manage that. So then when you do find your quote unquote soulmate, the problem that you have with your quote unquote soulmate is that you need a $2,000 plane ticket to get there so that you can meet that person. If you're looking for somebody that you can have an in-person relationship with, you're more than likely going to be more successful with talking to people in your neighborhood. Go to a grocery store, go to a bookstore. You're probably going to have to look for them during the day because the ones at night are hookup culture. You're unless you're looking for one night stands or gold diggers, you're probably not going to want to meet them in a nightclub or a bar. If you're not looking for one that's a drunk or have bad smoking habits, you're probably not going to look for them in a social atmosphere where there's a lot of drugs and alcohol. Really, where you find them at is what you're going to be getting yourself into. You want one that works out all the time, go ask a girl out in the gym, but be careful because when you start talking to people at the gym, you get thrown out of your gym. So don't do it at your gym. Do it at somebody else's gym. That way, if they tell you that you can't be there because you're asking girls out at the gym, you can just go to a different gym. It doesn't fuck with your membership. That's the best thing that I can tell you is what you're looking for in women. You got to go to where that type of woman is to go find them. Now, I understand that while we're looking for partners and we're looking for lifelong companions, you're not going to really be able to find certain characteristics in a specific place. It is a character trait that typically comes from a good home environment that you were taught that when you were younger. And you can't say that, oh, well, it's in the church. It's not in the church. OnlyFans is sitting in the front row of the church. So you really have to look really hard in some of the unorthodox places. You might find her at work. She might be a used car dealer or something. She might be a real estate agent or something. But you're definitely not going to find what you're looking for if you're going to a place where all of the men are treated like walking paychecks or bar tabs. So when it comes down to the dating culture, yeah, you're probably also going to have that other problem that the majority of women are going to have kids, especially when you're dealing with middle-aged women. It doesn't matter if their kids are grown, where they had the child at 15 and the child is 20 now, or if they are dealing with like a 16-year-old or whatever. They're going to have kids. You're very rare. Like the odds of finding an adult virgin is so rare in modern times with 2024 Gen Z hookup culture. You're not likely to find a person that doesn't have 5-10 bodies on them. And truthfully, it's very hard to find a woman that doesn't have at least a baby, if not 2 or 3 kids. Even if the kids aren't with her, even if she had kids and now they're living with a family member, you're not going to find very often women that don't have kids. And if you find one that doesn't have kids, because there are some that don't have kids, those are the ones that definitely do not want kids. So if you wanted a woman that didn't already have kids that wants to have kids, you're barking up the wrong tree there, buddy. That's going to be like the toughest thing for you to find. That's a double negative, because if she wants kids, she's already got them by the time she's 35, unless she can't have them, and then you can't have them neither. So you got to really think about what you're trying to get when you're looking for a specific somebody. It is easier for women to find a guy in her age group than it is for men to find a woman in his age group that is going to cooperate with the agenda. Because when a woman selects a man will change to satisfy the woman. Women do not change to satisfy the man. The older they get, the more interactions that they have, the more relationships that they get involved with, the more they're set in their ways, and they're like, fuck it, you take me who I am or get the fuck on. And because of that behavior, you're less likely at 35 or 41 or 52 to find a woman that's going to say, oh, I'm going to stop doing it a certain way and I'm going to do it this way because this way makes you happy. You're not going to get that. You're not. So you can either continue swiping right or you can follow my advice and you can start trying to talk to someone in person and see where that goes. Let's go on with our next question from a fan here.
So my boyfriend got really drunk and blocked me. I feel very upset today because my boyfriend recently blocked me while he was drunk. Hi, my name is Courtney, an 18-year-old female, and my boyfriend's name is Nick. He is an 18-year-old and he got really drunk and blocked me. Here is the whole story. During our relationship he told me he wouldn't get drunk and stuff, and when he would drink, with respect, he went to his cousin's house and didn't tell me he would get drunk. I didn't even think he would because I trusted him. Recently today I noticed he followed some new girl. As a joke I messaged him, LOL, who is this girl? And he started typing, I'm at my cousin's house. I was very confused about why he was typing this odd. I replied, LOL, are you drunk? And he said no. And sent me a voice message. He kept typing very oddly, drunk with the misspelling of words and stuff, and he was like, you don't trust me. Spelled in the worst way. So I said, calm down please, and I kept calling him. He said, no bro. And blocked me. I was crying for hours. I know he might unblock me once he gets sober, but if he doesn't, it's really over for good. I feel like he did some dumb shit due to him being drunk, like following a girl and following another girl. I told him to unfollow earlier because it made me uncomfortable. I tried texting him in my other accounts, but it's just, you don't trust me. I didn't say shit. I can't get drunk if I want to. Then blocked again. I'm very worried. I don't know what to do. I'll update you guys, but for now, I need support. I have terrible BPD and it's making this worse.
All right, hold on. So first of all, BPD has got to be bipolar disorder. And second of all, you tripping. Third of all, why the fuck do you care who the hell he following on social media? Because I mean, it's social media. Second of all, third of all, hold on, because I already crossed two. Third, he 18. He ain't supposed to be drinking shit. Why is he promising you that he's not drinking? Then if he's got a drinking habit and he gonna drink, but then some of us were party animals. I remember when I was drinking underage. I mean, kids are gonna do what they're gonna do. Why do you give a damn that he's over by his family member's house getting wasted? I mean, if you really cared about it, you'd be over there getting wasted with him. I know my parents used to tell me that whatever it is that you was gonna do that you wasn't supposed to be doing, you better do it by the house. That way your ass ain't gonna get in trouble for it. So, I mean, if he at the house doing stuff that he ain't got in the business doing, if you was there with him, then you would be able to keep track of him. You'd be able to protect him, look out for him. But I mean, if you really trusted him, then you shouldn't be telling him not to get drunk, because what the fuck is getting drunk going to do besides have him pass out at his cousin's house and throw up all over the floor, which you will not have to clean up because that's not your house. So I don't see why you really got a problem with him. But you're controlling behavior because you are calling him and texting him and stalking him on multiple different accounts, trying to get him to communicate with you because he's having a good time with his homies. Well, no, his family. Let's be real, because that's his cousin's house. That's not his dog's house. This ain't Tommy Cole and Martin. He's over here kicking it with his family members, and you sitting over here tripping because he's drinking at his family member's house. Why do you care if he's drinking at his family member's house? You sitting over here crying because he don't want to talk to your ass no more because you won't let him go out there and do what he wants to do. Let him get hammered. He's not driving. He don't get a DUI. He's fine. You know, now if the dude needs it to go to AA or something like that, then you might want to figure something out about that regard. But I mean, when it really comes down to it, like you're controlling because you're saying that you don't want the man to look at another girl's profile. Everybody's tagging everybody's profile. And you can't tell me that you don't have a social media profile where you don't have 1,001 guys following you. Why don't you block all of the men that are following you? Why don't you have a profile that only has women on it? No female that I know, that I've heard about. And ladies, please jump in and correct me if you know somebody who does this, that has a woman that has no men on her platform. No man following her platform. No man jumping into the DMs. But she just blocked every dude that slides into the DMs. Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. A lot of the comments that they get, they accept those comments. They thank you. They thumbs up, and all of these interactions that you have on social media. But when your boyfriend hits the like button on a photo, you flip it out. Look, no. And then if you've already got it conditionalized that you have massive mood swings unnecessarily, I mean, this dude probably gonna have to drink just to stay content with all of the crazy shit he got to put up with in his relationship. So in that regard, he needs some time away. Now you're gonna flip out because the man is over there trying to get some space. To the fact that he's got to block the number because you keep blowing up on him. Nah, that's not okay. That's not okay. That's not okay. That's not okay. No female. Look, let him do what he's got to do, and whenever you come back to the house, then y'all talk. But for you to be calling him for hours on end, texting him, messaging him, hitting him up on social media platforms to the point where the dude's got to block you. He didn't block you because he was drunk. He blocked you because he was tired of the bullshit he was going through while he was trying to get drunk. So if he wasn't drunk, when he told you that he wasn't drunk, but he was trying to get that drunk and he couldn't get that drunk because you were messing up his buzz by pissing him off, then yeah, block him. I block you too. I just finished telling you like a couple of questions ago that men don't like bullshit. You're bringing him so much bullshit while he's trying to get drunk. Come on now. Make it make sense for me, man. Make it make sense. Now, real quick, we got another comment coming in. Let's go ahead and see what this one's got to say.
With benefits arrangement ends mainly because someone wants more. Do you remain friends? Friends could mean different things. Still casually talking or hanging out or like still on each other's social media, but not talking any more stuff like that.
Okay, so he's asking about friends with benefits. If you catch feelings, friends, but first of all, why are you catching feelings? Ain't nobody throwing shit. So that, I just kind of want to touch on that real quick. Ain't nobody throwing shit. So why is you catching shit? You can't just say that you actually have feelings, that you have developed feelings for this female or the dude in some situations. You can't say that you're sad or upset or angry. You can't express emotion. So it has to be catching feelings. What the fuck is up with that stupid shit? But beyond that, you smashing this person. Clearly, you're going to develop feelings because that is an intimate situation that's going to develop intimate feelings. You're smashing this person on a regular basis, and then that leads to something. So since that is going to lead to something because y'all are smashing on a regular basis, consistent sex partners, and you're really good friends, and you know each other, and all of this other stuff starts swirling through your head about what if we actually put a title on this, open relationships. That is what you're in. Y'all call it friends with benefits, situationships, whatever the fuck y'all want to call it. You're in an open relationship. You're not committed to one another. You smash each other on a regular basis, but you keep your options open to smash somebody else on a regular basis. And you don't complain. That is the 2024 culture. Now you're asking me what happens if one of you has stronger feelings than the other person, and that makes it awkward for the one that really doesn't want you, but they just look for the sex. Now, that situation is dead, bro. The situation is dead. First of all, typically with a friends with benefits situation, y'all have the understanding that when it starts getting serious, that it's over. When one of y'all starts catching feelings, that it's over. So if you catch feelings for this person, to keep smashing this person, you're going to have to pretend like you don't have feelings. But the first time that you let on that you have feelings, the first time that they hint that they might have feelings and you take that and run with those feelings, and then they find out that you have feelings and they really didn't want to express those feelings, they're going to shut you down. So that whole scenario is dead. Can y'all keep socialized with one another? No, y'all are going to treat each other like exes. Y'all are going to treat each other like y'all had a massive breakup. In order for you not to be able to act on your feelings, you have to turn the positive affections for that person into negative hatred level feelings so that you don't have the desire to want to develop something with that person, which is extremely compromising. Do you know how psychologically damaging it is that you have to turn the positive feelings you have for somebody into something negative so that you don't act on them? So no, that whole situation is all chopped up and screwed. But I keep saying that instead of us allowing ourselves to end up in relationships like this, where we have a problem that we can't get ourselves out of with a situation that we can't develop any further, that we typically weigh our options and we try to find a situation that is more suited for us, that isn't a friends with benefits scenario. If this isn't a long-term commitment, then we really shouldn't be trying to get involved with it. As men, we should be focusing on our resources, building up our resources, and getting ourselves stability so that we can have retirement, so that we don't have to work for our entire life. If we're going to work for 3/4 of our life, the last quarter of our life, no matter how long that may be, 10, 20, 30 years, we should be able to not have to work. And while we're in that scenario, while we're not having to work, we should be able to recognize that we made enough money to live where we're not struggling. We don't have to beg the government for money. We can literally survive on what we worked for from the time we were young until the time that we stopped working. Now, while we're building those assets, if we're trying to find a person that's going to be there with us, aiding us in that type of lifestyle build that we're trying to go for, you want to make sure that you have a person that's going to ride that wave. So somebody that's not committed to you, that's not there for the long haul, that's only there for the friends with benefits, that's only there to not boost. They're there for the entertainment. But if shit gets hard, they're bailing out. If shit gets serious, apparently they're bailing out. Bro, you don't want to get yourself involved with that. So do you really want friends with benefits to last if one of y'all caught feelings and the other one didn't? Do you really want to continue this charade with one another? You're just pretending you're playing house. It was good sex, but you're playing house. And truth be told, believe it or not, you subconsciously sabotage the opportunity to have positive relationships with somebody else because the sexual relationship you have with your friend is the type of romantic relationship you would want to have with a lover that you don't have because you're reserving yourself for your friend. If you ended up dating somebody else, you would have to stop having sex with your friend. You don't want to stop having sex with your friend. You want the relationship from your friend. Once you realize that, that's when the gloves are off and you're going to have to say, look, we're going to have to turn this into something else. And the other person is going to say no, and that's when your situation is dead. You're going to have to just move on. It was fun while it lasted, but it's time to go. They're there for a season, not for forever. So it's the shit that we just got to accept and understand. Let's go ahead and grab in another comment here.
Boyfriend. The apps aren't apping. I don't care to go to the clubs or bars. Where are the good men at? No one wants to date to marry? Fuck these half-assed situationships. This is breaking my fucking heart.
Okay, so she's having problems. She wants a boyfriend. And she's not doing good with the apps neither. The other guy was talking about those apps. The apps are not apping. They're not designed to app. The apps are designed to make money. So let's think about this real quick. Social media apps, you pay money on these social media apps. Even if they're free to download, they're free to look at. But when you start touching stuff, it costs money. They put you into a dating platform. They'll hint you with a couple of people that you might actually be attracted to. And they'll send you a shit ton of messages. And then you got to pay to respond to the messages. You got to buy the premium membership in order to respond to the messages. They have some kind of way to hook you in. You got to buy coins so that you can send people gifts and all this other shit. You know, it's still designed for them to make money. It is not designed for you to find a match. You can find a match. There are some platforms that are really good at matchmaking where you can find a match, but you're spending hundreds of dollars on a dating platform that you probably would have been spending close to the same amount of money in person with all of the taking girls out on dates and buying them drinks and this, that, and the third. Women are going to spend more money on a dating platform than what they would spend dating in real life because women don't have to pay for shit in real life. Women don't have to pay for anything more often than not. That there are a few women that voluntarily go Dutch, but I have never seen a woman just come out and take a man on 5 or 7 dates at her expense and taking them to fine dining $200 a plate restaurants talking about some, I want to know who you are. You know, we don't see that. But what we do see is that men got to take them somewhere. You can't go to the Olive Garden. Olive Garden is upscale, I guess, to some people. You got to go there. But you can't go to what was it, Cheesecake Factory? You can't go there, you know, because they're complaining about the Cheesecake Factory. It's got to be TGI Fridays or some shit like that, where you're looking at $75 to $200 a plate for dinner so that I can find out what your last name is. Now, on a dating platform, at least I know what your damn name is. At least the dating platforms that require you to put your real government name up there. Then you're able to look this person up and see what kind of shit they've done in their past. I always tell people, check the Carfax. If she looks like a crash car, bro, like you got to rethink your position. I know ladies are going to be saying, oh, well, we should do the same thing. But I mean, the quantity of women that a man has been involved with, it's not going to change how the man is going to treat you. The quantity of men that a woman has been with will change how a woman's going to treat another man. Because the damage that she went through from the last 5, 10, 20 men, she's going to have guards up. She's going to have red flags. She's going to have security guards. She is not going to allow herself to go through whatever she went through before. Men are gullible. We will test the waters. We sample bullshit to see if it's going to be bullshit, and we get bit quite a few times. But a man is not gonna treat a woman like shit because I had a bunch of bad relationships. No, what the man is gonna do, the man's gonna try harder. He might spend less money because he realizes that going above and beyond for women is not going to lead him to a long-standing relationship. He might spend less money. He might pace himself and start off buying things cheap and work his way up to the expensive stuff instead of starting with the expensive stuff and then going to the really expensive stuff. But the fact is that it's not like he's not going to still cater to you. A man that will cook for his girl will cook for his girl, no matter how many girlfriends he has, how many exes he has. A man that'll clean up behind his girl will clean up behind his girl, no matter how many exes that he has. But a woman who used to cook for men, who broke up with 5 or 10 of them or had one of them and told her that she didn't know how to cook, she's going to stop cooking for men. She's going to tell you to go order out. She's going to make you cook for her because she's tired of cooking for men because men don't appreciate how she cooks. Instead of her learning how to cook, she would just shut down and not cook for any man because the men that she used to cook for isn't satisfied with how she cooks. If a man doesn't like how she cleans or how she gets head or whatever the case may be, she just won't do it anymore. It's not, she won't learn how to do it better. She just won't do it anymore. And then the next man will come up and be like, oh, well, why aren't you doing such and such? It ain't you, bro. It's the last guy or the last 5 guys. And this is one of the reasons why guys go for women with a lower body count, with lower experience, with less mileage, less damage, less trauma. Because, the more trauma that she's been through, the more trauma she's going to take on you. The baggage that comes from toxic relationships is going to lead to baggage in your relationship that you've got to deal with, that you've got to try to navigate through. And you're going to be responsible for stuff that you don't know what's going on because your partner is having flashbacks. Your partner tripping out on you because they're seeing signs of traumatic situations that they've been through in the past. And you have self-traumatizing people who will put themselves in a situation that will traumatize them. And then you want to blame the trauma. But I mean, it's just poor choice after the trauma. And the fact is that you have to learn that certain situations you should not allow yourself to go into. And this is why we tell guys, we're not going to cap and save them anymore. We're not going to, get out there and call ourselves trying to fix what's broken. If it's broken, leave it broken. Now, we're not going to say that we're not going to try to build you up. We're not going to say that we're not going to try to motivate you and inspire you to do better and be better. But what we are going to say is that it makes no fucking sense that we're going to take you out of a world of chaos and bring you into a world of peace and then think that your ass is going to be peaceful in this peaceful environment. No, what's going to happen is she's going to bring that fucking chaos to your peaceful environment. You cannot take someone out the projects and expect them not to have projectors behavior. You're not going to see that. You're not going to take somebody out the ghetto and put them up into the suburb, put them into the White House and think that they're not going to have ghetto. It's not going to, they don't know no other way. Until you teach them something different, they're not going to know different. And that's everybody. That's not just men. That's not just women. That's everybody. It's a social environment that they grew up in. It's a type of behavior that they're going to have as an adult. So if they are used to relationships, especially long-term relationships, where they've had, 5 really long relationships in the past 15 years, and all of those relationships were toxic, that means that you've had 15 years of toxic relationships. You have been used to toxic relationships. You probably now subconsciously pick toxic relationship type people so that you can get back into a toxic relationship situation that you don't know how to get yourself out of. So as a person that is not toxic, when this person picks you, you got to find out what the background is. If they've had 5 or 7 bad relationships and each one of those relationships are 3 years long, you're looking at 15, 20 years worth of bad relationships. That's 15, 20 years worth of trauma. You're going to be dodging a lot of landmines in that situation. And you might want to ask yourself, how long was the last? Just like when a cop asks you, how long has it been since your last drink, even though you've been drinking all day? You want to tell them it's been a couple of hours since your last drink, right? You got to do the same thing with women with bad relationships. How long has it been since your last toxic relationship? And they need to really be telling you that it's been a couple of years since the last toxic relationship, because the longer they were in the toxic relationship, the longer it's going to take for them to get over that shit before you're going to have to deal with bullshit. And ladies, guys got the same issue. You got men that they're heavily traumatized by women. And funny thing is that women have the audacity to shame men and say, oh, he's insecure and he's traumatized. Well, first of all, A woman made him insecure because of how bad she treated him, and a woman is traumatized him. And as a woman, you're currently traumatizing the man by shaming the man and mistreating the man because he's already been mistreated by somebody else. It's just like getting a dog from a pound that's been abused by his previous owner. You're going to sit over here and say, oh, well, the dog is traumatized and the dog is insecure. Well, you got a traumatized and insecure dog that just got thrown away by somebody else, mistreated and thrown away by somebody else. You're going to take it in. They're going to treat it like shit because the last person didn't treat it right. Well, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you not calling yourself trying to mend this traumatized situation by saying, I'm not going to treat you that way? I'm not saying fix the problem, because just like I said with the guys, we're not trying to fix the problem, but we're not trying to make the problem worse neither. You don't want to get into a relationship with somebody that needs counseling to fix their problems. Let them go to counseling first and solve those problems. And then when they finish solving a few of those problems, then we can talk and see where things go. You got somebody that is having mood swings and blowing up on you at the drop of a hat over some shit that happened 7 years ago. Y'all have only been talking for 6 months. Like that, you don't need that. You don't need that. So you have to be able to recognize that there are certain lines that you need to draw in the sand, and there are certain situations and certain behavior patterns and certain characteristics that you need to be able to say that is not going to work for me, that I do not want to see that happen. And if you're able to draw those lines in the sand and you're able to say that is not good, then you're able to turn around and say, okay, this one is probably going to work because it doesn't have as much damage. The same way when you go to a used car lot and you're looking at all the cars in the $5,000 range, you get the one with the least amount of scratches, the least amount of dents, doesn't have any rust. You're doing the same thing. You're going to get a chick that's got the least amount of bullet wounds, the least amount of stretch marks, the least amount You're trying to find one that's not damaged. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. All right, let's go ahead and slide on into the next comment we got here. We got a few of them. Take some pretty decent rants.
So, the woman I've been seeing has a boyfriend.
Wow.
I have been seeing and sleeping with this woman for over a month. Just found out she has a long-term boyfriend. I'm tempted to let him know she has been cheating. I've already had one opinion tell me it's none of my business to tell him, and I'm not the moral arbiter. Should I just stay out of it? Part of me feels like if I were him, I'd want to know.
Well, they do say snitches get stitches, but see, the problem that we have there is that you want to treat people the way you want to be treated. If my girlfriend was cheating on me and somebody else knew about it, I probably would want to know. But there are some people who would prefer not to know. They would prefer to be in the dark and pretend like nothing's happening when they know that everything wrong that could be potentially happening is actually happening. But you also have to remember the old saying, don't kill a messenger, because that's really a thing. No matter how close you are to somebody, no matter how much they may care about you or claim to care about you, if you bring them bad news that they do not want to accept, they will treat you like the worst trait. They will crucify you. You will be Judas and Jesus. They will crucify you because they don't want you to tell them stuff they don't want to hear. So this guy who doesn't know you, who has no loyalty to you, for you to walk up to this guy almost as if you're bragging and be like, I've been fucking your chick for the last 2 months. Bro, that's going to get your ass whooped. You're not going to be able to. Your best bet is to be like Uncle Sam. Y'all remember Uncle Sam from the late 90s, right? You know, he wrote that letter. You know, he found a letter under the door. You remember that song? He was reading a letter. It was telling them about the chick that he was sleeping with, that this other dude was sleeping with the chick, and he just found out about it, and then he had to come and let him know that she's about to leave him for this other dude. Like, bro, that's your safest bet. If you're sleeping with this dude's chick like R. Kelly did Isaac, and you don't want to end up in the desert, buried to your neck, bro, your best bet is to write him a letter like Uncle Sam and just let him know. Just let him know. But at the same time, some people can say that it ain't none of your business. But I mean, if she for the streets, bro, the streets got to let your homeboy know. You got a bro code. You got to be like, nah, bro, she ain't loyal, and I just found out about it. But truth is that what you could do as a dude without having to fuck up the relationship that she's in, because he might know about it and not care. You could just leave a girl alone, because if you was trying to get with this girl thinking that she was exclusive to you, and you found out that she was in a long-term committed relationship with somebody else, you know she a hoe. So you're not trying to turn her hoe into a housewife. I've been telling y'all for like a year now that that's never going to work out well. So you're not, once you realize that this is a bad situation, you could just drop it and say fucking and let her do her thing with somebody else, who don't care, and then you'd be good to go with your own personal psychology. But if you really feel like you got to tell this guy that she's smashing another dude, then mail him a letter. Mail him a letter. Matter of fact, when you mail him a letter, you put the letter in one of those return envelopes for the light company, so the girl won't know what's going on. You mail him a letter. He's gonna think of a bill. He's gonna open the bill up and come to find out that it's a confession, like Usher. And it's gonna destroy whatever relationship they got if they wasn't already planning on making it make sense. Then they're gonna have to make it make sense now, because he's got somebody saying, "Hey, I've been sleeping with your girlfriend for 2 months, and now that I realize that she's dating you, I'm gonna leave her alone. But I think you should do the same." If you got that kind of letter, you're gonna be mad at a motherfucker. Like, what? How do you? And she's gonna lie. She's gonna lie, because everybody does that. Not just women, men do it too. When you catch them, when they wasn't ready to get caught, they wasn't planning on getting caught today, they got caught. They're gonna lie and say, "No, I wasn't cheating. No, that person's lying. They're just trying to break us up." You know how haters gotta hate. But a lot of the times, that random letter that comes out of nowhere, that snitching on your spouse, is not always a setup. A lot of times, it's a warning. We had a fan on the show last weekend, as a matter of fact. The dude's ex-girlfriend left a letter behind something or other in the house, in a place where never gets clean. Shit sat there 5 years. It was a 5-year-long hand grenade, bro. His new girlfriend finds it because she's cleaning in places that's never getting cleaned, and found a letter from the last time the previous girlfriend cleaned up, because she hid something back there on her way out the door. Now the new girl is starting to fight with the man about a letter that was left behind by his ex from 5 years ago. Now, that situation, I said, no, don't let old people fuck up new shit, because that person from 5 years ago left something in your house, and men are not going to clean. I don't know why women believe that men are going to get in their house and get behind the bookshelf and behind the washer and dryer and underneath the garage and nah. We make sure that the dishes that we use get clean, and we make sure that the places that we sit aren't dirty, and we get up the dust when we recognize that there's dust. But you got to understand that we ain't cleaned in so long that we can recognize that there's dust, so we get rid of the dust because we don't like looking at the dust. But until we notice the dust, it's gonna stay dusty, because we don't clean shit unless we really have to. We don't invite people over unless we invite the boys over, and the boys ain't looking at your house and being like, "When's the last time you dust this place?" Nah, they're not gonna give a shit. It dust it off and put your beard down. That's so. Fact is that when women feel like guys are gonna spring clean their house every fucking day, no, we pay housekeepers for that. We get girlfriends for that. We pay babysitters extra for that. We don't do that. Not because we can't. That's just not in line with the shit that we do. We get up, we work every day. We try to figure out ways to make money. We try to figure out ways to make money for her. Do what we got to do for the kids. We're not thinking about cleaning the house up. That's one of the last things that we think about, which is one of the first things that we expect our girlfriend to do as our helper, is to get the house cleaned up, because we're not going to do it. Most men are not organized, and the ones that are organized have very, very little shit. You're not going to see a man with 3,000 suits and got them all over the place. They're all going to be on hangers. They're all going to be, which he's bringing to the dry cleaner, so somebody else is cleaning the suits. He's wearing a suit to the dry cleaners to go pick up the suit that he dropped off so that he could put it into rotation. He ain't doing shit. You got to understand that. That's the reason why hospitality has become so good, because the stuff that women used to do for their boyfriends and their husbands, they don't do anymore. And that's why men have to pay society to do the stuff that the girlfriends don't want to do. But the girlfriends want to become wives when they don't deserve it. They don't earn it. And then they want the men to buy their hair and nails and all this other shit and then put them up on a pedestal. But I mean, all the money I'm spending on the housekeeper, the landscaper, the nanny, the dry cleaners, the Uber Eats and the Lyft and all this other stuff that I'm paying to do shit that you don't want to do. And the only thing that the woman is going to do is give up some sex, and then you can get that off Backpage or OnlyFans. Now you can subscribe to OnlyFans and get sex delivered. And you're saying that you're going to be in a committed relationship with a girl that is not going to do what you've already got a whole fucking payroll for. You should be pushing out W-2s with all of the assistance that you're paying for, and the girlfriend that becomes the wife is going to replace all of those people. And truth be told, ladies, all of those people get replaced because you're doing that shit. Guess where the money goes? To you. So you wondering why he ain't buying shit for you. He ain't spending no money on you. That's because he's got to pay for the help. If you was helping, then he'd be giving the money to you. That's your allowance. In Dubai, the men give their women an allowance because the women are obedient. They do what they're supposed to do, and they take care of the shit that the man needs taken care of, or they don't get shit from the man. Here in America, the men don't get shit, but they better give you half of their paycheck, if not all of their paycheck. What you mean, fellas? Priorities are all wrong. If you're paying attention to the sex instead of paying attention to the woman, you are not going to get what you're looking for. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and let's slide on into one of these other comments. We got a few more going here. Oh, wow, we got a lot of them up here. They just keep coming.
Now, I'm dumbfounded by this girl I'm seeing. Okay. So I went on 4 dates with her so far, and we pretty much talk every day. So she has told me from the start she is quite shy. I didn't mind it, since I know what it's like being shy. I used to be quite shy myself. To give an example of her shyness, she couldn't even look people in the eye, since she is that shy, but now she's pretty comfortable with me. She can now keep in contact with me, and she also likes to cuddle with me, but the one thing that now I'm kind of confused about is how she would only kiss or hold hands with the person she is dating. For me, I understand and respect that, but what I don't understand is that during our time cuddling we were watching TikTok videos of ranking like what you were okay with physical touch, and when the video mentioned biting, she just started biting my arm. I don't get how she's okay with biting my arm, but not kissing or holding hands. Doesn't biting your partner more intimate than these two?
No, that's not the same thing. So first problem that we have. Okay, I gotta wind it back all the way to the part where you said that y'all been on 4 dates. Bro, y'all are not in a relationship. Y'all hung out 4 times. She barely knows you. She's gotten comfortable enough with you for y'all to be sitting in the same place at the same time, staring at each other. Okay, now y'all sitting there on the phone, on the same cell phone, scrolling through shit, which means y'all ain't got shit to do. Y'all aren't trying to build this relationship into something by being creative with one another. You're just watching social media, okay? And you're sitting over here trying to analyze exactly how comfortable she is so that you can fuck her. Now, you're not paying attention to your priorities, bro, and that's one of the reasons why you're in a situation that you're in, because you're so confused that she's entertaining you the way you would want a girlfriend to entertain you, but she is still not accepting you as her boyfriend. She said that she ain't kissing no man and holding no hands with no man that she does not recognize as her boyfriend. So if she ain't holding your hand and she don't want to kiss you, you are not her boyfriend. That's clear. That's clear. There's no misunderstanding about that. But what you also have to understand that outside of toxic relationships, biting is not a form of intimacy. Biting is a form of aggression. That's a form of violence. They call that quote unquote play fighting. There's nothing fucking playful about it, but you can put the ha to anything. You could treat a man like shit and say, oh, I was just joking. Fuck out of here. No, you wasn't. You was fucking serious. Just like the girl over there a couple fans ago that was talking about how she jokingly, asked him if he was drunk. No, ma'am, you didn't jokingly ask him if he was drunk. You hit him up. You was like, bro, you're fucking drunk. Just playing. No. You pissed him off because you came out of the dark with accusations. Whether or not he was or not is irrelevant. You wasn't supposed to be fucking with him. Now, this situation right here, you got a girl, she bit you. So she's comfortable enough to take a bite out of crime. But she's not going to kiss you. She's not going to hold your hand. She don't want you like that. You might be a homie to her. She might be comfortable enough to be a friend. You could be falling right into the friend zone. But that just because she bit you doesn't mean that she'll kiss you. And just because she bit you doesn't mean that she should be able to kiss you now. It just means that after the bite, there's going to be some punching. There's going to be some kicking. There's going to be some slapping. Because some women, for some reason, believe that it is okay to express mild levels of affection with extreme levels of violence. That's not intimacy. It's extremely unhealthy. I do not promote it at all. I actually recommend that women keep their hands and feet and basically their teeth to themselves. Because, I mean, if you don't want to get punched by a man, then you should not hit a man. If you don't want to be kicked by a man, you shouldn't kick a man. If you don't want to be backslapped and have your teeth knocked out of your mouth, you shouldn't be hitting on men. You don't know what kind of man that you're dealing with, and you don't know what he's been through, and you already know that there are men that can repress past traumas, even if they haven't gotten over those past traumas. But for some reason, you believe that you can beat up a dude and think that it's okay. It's not okay, but you'll pretend like it's okay. And why will you pretend like it's okay when you're beating up on this dude, but the dude can't hit you? So if he would have bit you and he has a low pain tolerance, and that bite would have made him reflex, and he would have punched you in the forehead, he would be going to jail for punching you in the forehead, but you bit the fuck out of him. Talking about some, I was just playing. This ain't no damn Castle Grayskull. You're not going to be sitting over here like Count Chocula trying to take a bite out of crime. Like about one bite. Oh, fuck out of here. Nah. Like, I'm not even trying to play with no feet. Y'all set y'all non-negotiable expectations for behavior. You take a bite out of me, that's it. That's it. Look, OJ tried to warn you when he wrote that book. You keep playing, you're going to end up in the wrong spot. Let's go ahead and check into the next comment here.
As a 22-year-old female, my partner, a 38-year-old male, told me to lose weight when I asked him if he thought I was pretty. Now I'm questioning if he even wants to be with me. So long story short, I asked my partner if he thought I was pretty, and he said you could lose some weight and tone up. He has a nice physique, not like a six-pack, but he works out. I wouldn't say I'm overweight, but maybe thick. I have a disease that makes it really easy to gain weight and extremely hard to lose it. Before I met him, I had already lost 16 kilograms and started getting my confidence back. We've been dating for a year and a half, and he's made comments about this before knowing my sensitivity to the subject. I'm studying full-time on top of working a laborious job. I just don't know how to feel about him anymore. I've accepted that my body isn't perfect and will still continue to work on it, but he doesn't. How do I deal with this? Help a girly out, because I don't know what to do.
Girly, the two diseases that come with gaining it and not losing it is eating too goddamn much and not exercising, and then also having a underactive thyroid. So, yeah, I know stuff, microbiology. Now, first of all, you got to eat less more often. You're going to be eating less fatty foods. You're not going to be consuming so much starch, which means you're going to change your diet. Then you're going to be more active, because not being active is going to cause you to retain. But if you're eating less more often, then your body's going to digest all of the stuff that it's putting aside, which is causing you to retain weight. You're also going to do some detoxing, which is going to allow you to remove a lot of the excess water weight. And then you're going to do a lot of cardio. Now, you say that you don't know if he wants you or not. Well, if the man been complaining about your size since y'all met and y'all been together for a year and a half, the man is going to stay with you. But just like broke men build on Honda Civics over years, they will continuously tune this car up until it is fast enough for them. A man will teach his woman how to be more attractive for him, or build herself up in ways where she will be happier with what she looks like, and he will be happier with what she looks like too. A man is not going to drop you because you're not a 10. A man will keep you as a 5 and help you become a 6 or a 7 and stay with you the whole way through. But you're going to say that you're kind of thick. Miss Ma'am, you were not kind of thick. You were kind of fat, but he was okay with that. And he knows that if you was to do a few crunches and, you know, get on a treadmill a little bit, that you'll have an hourglass figure, which is what he's looking for. But because you let yourself go a lot more than you should, you don't really have an hourglass figure. You have an M&M figure. He's not okay with the M&M figure. The one thing that women don't like is the truth. You ask a man if he thinks you're fat, and then he tells you that you're fat, then you're going to say, oh, he's being mean to you. Well, but if you ask a man if he thinks you're fat, then he lies to you and tells you that you're not fat, but you're bigger than the fucking house, then you're going to say, oh, he doesn't care about me. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want, You don't want somebody to tell you that you look pretty when you don't. You don't want somebody to tell you that you're a great singer when you're not. You don't want somebody to tell you that you're strong when you're weak. You don't want somebody to build you false sense of confidence in yourself, because that does not help you be a better you. If you are broke because you don't make wise choices, they need to tell you that you need to stop fucking up your money. If you are overeating and you are not maintaining your weight the way you need to, they need to tell you to put that food down and go take a run around the block or some shit. If you drink too much, put the beer down. I used to have friends that smoked too much. They said that they were going to quit. You told the wrong person you were going to quit, because when my friends tell me that they're going to quit, every time they pull a cigarette out, I take it from them and break it. You're not smoking in front of me because you told me you was quit. I'm going to motivate you to not quit by fucking up all your cigarettes. You have people that say they're not going to drink. That's fine. You say you're not going to drink around me. You said that around the wrong person, because if you're not going to drink around me, every time you order a beer, I'm going to drink your beer. You're not going to have a beer. You're going to get a fucking glass of water because you said you wasn't going to drink. You're trying to lose weight. You're going to say that around me. You said that around the wrong person because you tell me that you're going to lose weight. I'm going to be making you all kinds of healthy food. I can eat junk food all day long, but you're not eating junk food. Give me those fucking cheesy poops. You're not eating cheesy poops. You said you're on a diet. You're going to say that I don't care about you because you set goals for yourself and I'm going to make you keep them. That's called accountability. You said that you were going to tone your body up. He's holding you to that. That's accountability. If he's telling you that you're slacking on your exercises, which is why you're putting the weight back on, and you're eating junk food, which is why you're putting the weight back on, instead of you maintaining the exercises, making it seem like, oh, because you work this laborious job that all of a sudden you can't stay in shape. But you're dating a fucking gym rat. He's a walking personal trainer. He can tell you exactly what the fuck to do. You can bond with him by going to the fucking gym and doing whatever workouts that he's doing. Just use lighter weights, and I guarantee you, you will have a six-pack just like him. Let me tell you something, ma'am. I don't have no mercy for you, because there are women that will have 3 kids, put on 100 pounds, and lose that shit and look like fucking models. Okay? There are women that were 75 pounds overweight in their teenage years. By the time they're 25, 30 years old, hourglass figure. There are girls that right now today that realize that they were 30, 40 pounds overweight, go to the gym every day, come back, and they got everything toned up. You got skinny girls going to the gym until they put muscle on their ass. So you can't tell me that for over a year and a half, you got folks who can get on that Jared diet and make it between January and June and be in a bathing suit on the beach with skin tight hourglass figure, and you're telling me that they can do that. Full figured women can do that. But you, in 2 summers, can't do it. That's because you ain't trying. So it ain't that he don't want you. It's that you don't want to hear it. You don't want him to tell you that you're failing yourself, which is disappointing to him because he knows that you can do better. You're just choosing not to. You don't want him to tell you that you're fucking up. But I've told some of the people that are closest to me plenty of times before that there is no nice way for you to tell somebody that they're fucking up. There isn't. No matter how you sugarcoat it, no matter how you sweet talk it, if somebody's fucking shit up, you are going to have to tell them, stop fucking shit up. That's like, you got to be real with them. Or you can lie. You can sweet talk them, you can feed them a bunch of bullshit. You can pretend like there's no problem. Conflict avoided. But you're not going to be satisfied with them. And while you're not satisfied with them because they're fucking up and you don't have the courage to tell them that they're fucking up, what's going to happen is that you're going to slowly gravitate away from them the way she's slowly gravitating away from the truth. And then you guys are going to end up breaking up. One of y'all is not going to know why the breakup is happening. The other one is going to be disappointed that the breakup is having to occur because no changes is being made. And the whole problem is that there's a lack of communication that is honest communication. Because you can talk back and forth. You can talk at each other. Or you could relay important information to one another. If you're not relaying important information to one another, then you don't need to be talking to one another. And if y'all not communicating with one another, you're not supposed to be in a relationship with one another, because even a football team has everybody communicating with one another in the huddle. Every play. Everybody's communicating with one another before they hike the ball. Everybody's communicating with one another as they're open. So that makes absolutely no sense that you're in a situation where you cannot communicate with your partner. You cannot communicate with the person that's supposed to be there for the long haul. So if you're in a situation where he's telling you that you're a little overweight and you can go to the gym, you can lose some of that stuff, you can get on a treadmill or two, you can do the stair stepper and you can walk uphill instead of walking downhill, do the hard stuff instead of the easy stuff. You're going to tell me that you can't do that because you work a laborious job? Well, man, while you're working a laborious job, do a few dozen laps around the building on your lunch break. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Walk instead of drive. Catch the bus. Stuff that you can do to change life choices that can fix your problem, instead of just bitching about the fact that you're not satisfied with how you look and you want him to accept you for who you are. But then you ask him if you are unsatisfactory, and if he tells you the truth and says, yes, you are unsatisfactory, but I'm going to love you anyway, you're going to be upset about that. That's your fucking problem. You want him to tell you that you look gorgeous, you want him to tell you that you look amazing, then put in the effort so that you can look fucking gorgeous and amazing. You're not going to put in the fucking effort. Then if he's going to tell you that you're sloppy and you need to work out, then you're just going to have to accept the fact that you're sloppy and you need to work out. If you know that your body isn't what you want it to be, and he knows that your body isn't what you want it to be, and it ain't what he wanted to be, because fuck, look at him, then that means that if you're okay with it already, you know it needs work, then why are you bitching? Just stop asking him what he thinks. You don't want to hear it. Stop asking him what he thinks. This fella, a couple fans ago, who asked me about telling the guy about his girlfriend cheating on him, this is why. They don't like hearing the truth. You tell somebody who doesn't want to hear it that negative shit's going down, they're going to attack the messenger. Let's go ahead and slide into the next comment here. We got a few more coming.
How do I convince my 36-year-old husband that I, as a 32-year-old female, am smart and capable? I feel that my husband refuses to see me for who I really am and sees me as a mix of his own past experiences and assumptions about women like me. It has not always been the case. A little background, and I really don't want to be too obnoxious and cocky, but I'm a little defensive right now, so I'd like to explain. I have a master's degree in computer science and close to 10 years IT experience, 5 of which is being a software architect. I was born in a poor country that I escaped by being offered a job in a better country, without even having to look for one. I am bilingual, and I did that all by myself too, with no teacher or classes or anything, before smartphones became widely available. Meaning, I went to the library, sat down and learned English from books. I'm explaining all this because it's important to understand that I am not the person my husband thinks I am. My husband is a white rural American man with a bachelor's degree and a normal office job, not STEM. He doesn't have any elaborate hobbies or interests either. He's a normal guy who likes sports and action movies. I'm saying this so it's clear that he's not a professor of quantum optics or anything that would actually explain why he thinks he is so much smarter than I am. He doesn't trust me with the tiniest of things. It's all day. Every single one of our interactions. The most recent one being, I saw ants and wanted to put out an ant trap. He said he would take a look and decide if it's warranted or not, and he would make sure I don't put it in a stupid place. He wasn't like this before we got married and had a baby, because back then I didn't rely on him to help me with things. I need him to hold the baby. While the ant issue is resolved, I can't just do it on my own anymore, at least temporarily. Back then, I just didn't say anything and fix the issue myself, so it never caused a conflict. But now I need to convince him that I'm actually not that stupid. I need to earn his respect so he starts trusting me with the little stuff, and I don't feel like a little kid being supervised anymore. Especially because I used to be so tough, I literally lived a life that he didn't even see in movies because his religious parents didn't let him watch movies with the kind of content that my life used to be like. I have seen some shit and dealt with some bad circumstances. I am not native or frail or any of these things, and he used to like this about me. I have already communicated many times how I feel about this, but nothing ever changes because he says either one of two things. I'm being mean by saying that and I have a tone. Then we start talking about how much this conversation hurt him, and the conversation about me not being stupid never happens. He also says he never heard anyone talk to anyone like this before and how mean it is, but he said this so many times that now I speak with the gentlest, whispering tone, hoping we get to talk about the marriage issues, but he still talks about my tone, that he actually respects me so very much that he just doesn't know how to express it, and we'll try to find a way. This also ends the conversation. He won again, but eroding our marriage piece by piece. So is it worth it though? Anyways, it really is eroding what we once had. Does anybody know how to show a man that you're smart? I feel that at one point he did believe I was smart, but after the initial honeymoon years, now he just sees me as just a mom or ick. I really need to find a way to demonstrate my worth before it's too late.
All right, so I think you got this shit ass backwards. So first of all, you are me. Second of all, you do got a fucked up ass attitude, and third of all, yeah, he's right. And I'm not just saying that because he's a man. I'm gonna say that because you have to really think about the fact that when a man values a woman, he's gonna do everything that she needs. Everything. She ain't gotta touch shit. She ain't gotta pick up shit. She ain't gotta look at nothing twice. If he got the kind of money and she look at it too long, he done bought it. You know, you go from when you are in a good relationship where your man values you, he's gonna cover all of the responsible stuff, which means now you are in a dependent relationship. You are in a relationship where you depend on your man to show up as a man and do all the stuff that men are supposed to do. Which also means that you're going to be in a situation where like your tough exterior that you had to have back in the day before you had a man, that tough exterior is not going to be needed anymore. You are no longer going to have to be super extra strong. Your Kill Bill lifestyle is not necessary anymore. You're going to have to hang up your Charlie's Angel outfit, and you're going to have to just park it and be the housewife. Your problem is not that he doesn't respect you. Your problem is that you don't feel like you have control anymore because you used to be able to bully your way through shit and boss people around and tell people what the fuck to do. And now you don't have that capability because before you can open your fucking mouth, your man had already solved the problem. You've got a good man that will solve the problem, and he will solve all the problems. He solves so many problems that you can't find a problem that you're capable of solving because he just solved it before you figured it out. That doesn't mean that you're not capable. That means that you got a good man. Most women should be looking for a man like that instead of finding a man that'll just throw money at him, fuck him, and leave him. They need to be trying to find a man that's going to do everything in his power to make sure that she ain't got to lift a finger, that she ain't got to buy shit, that she ain't got to touch shit, that she ain't got to look at shit. Treat you like you're frail because he's valuing you like a Fabergé egg. He's treating you like you are delicate because you are delicate to him. He doesn't want you to break a nail. He doesn't want you to break a bone. He doesn't want you to get cuts or scrapes on yourself while you're trying to do the shit by yourself. He'll break his wrist trying to fix the car, but he doesn't expect you to break your wrist trying to fix the car. That's not your responsibility. That's not your job. That's his job. You're supposed to be able to get in there and do what you need to do to take care of the kids. You've got kids. As the mother to the child, he's supposed to sacrifice himself so that you don't have to, so that you can be there for the child. You're going to say that he doesn't respect you and he doesn't appreciate you. You're wrong. He definitely respects you. He definitely appreciates you. The problem is not that he doesn't respect you and he doesn't appreciate you. The problem is that because he respects you and appreciates you so much, he is overboard showing you exactly how much you are valuable to him. The same way a man who values his car will put all of his money into his car, taking it to the shop, fixing it up, rebuilding it, restoring it back to factory, and then customizing it. He's half of his life's income will go into this car because of how much he values his car. Something he didn't value, wouldn't put $1 into it. A woman that a man doesn't value, he's not going to put any effort into. He's not going to make sure that you're safe. He's not going to make sure that you're cared for. He's not going to make sure that you have what you need. He doesn't give a shit if you got problems. He doesn't care if you're struggling with stuff. But a man that really cares about you is going to make sure that you don't have to struggle for nothing. You're not going to need for nothing. You're not going to want for nothing. You don't really have to think about nothing. All you have to do is just fill in the blanks. Whatever he couldn't get done, that's what you go do. But if he can get it, you ain't got to do nothing. They got men that'll work 2 jobs, come home, cook, and clean for the woman because that's how much he values her. Now, she ain't doing shit for him, but he's taking care of the house and working 2 jobs and taking care of the kids. They got some men that do it all because that's how much he values her. Now, in order for you to show him that you are valuable, what you need to be doing instead of trying to prove to him that you are self-sufficient, you should be trying to be more of a partner to him. If he's doing all the hard shit, if he's solving all of the problems, if he's fixing every fucking thing that goes wrong in y'all's life, your job now is to do everything that he's not doing for himself, because he's spending so much time and effort in making sure that you're straight, making sure that you don't have any complaints, make sure that you don't have any concerns. He's going the extra mile for you. That means that you need to go the extra mile for him. That's how you solve this problem. Instead of you being a bitch about the fact that he's catering to your every need. As soon as you start complaining about ants, he got it. Now, yeah, you're gonna say, oh, he shouldn't talk to you like that. Say, make sure you don't put it in a stupid place. Yeah, they got some. You got an ant hill in the wrong spot, and you might be able to put it a certain distance away from the ant hill to take out the ants. But some people do put it in the wrong spot. They'll put it in a stupid place. You'll put it in front of the freaking water sprinkler. You'll put it in front of the sidewalk. You'll put it in front of a gopher hole. You'll put it in the wrong spot. And then it won't be effective. You'll put it where the ants aren't. The ants are going in the opposite direction. It happens. Let him take care of it. Here's an overly aggressive way of saying, I don't want you to get bit by ants. I'll go take care of it myself. Either way it goes, let him do it. Because why should you get bit up by ants? Why should you get cut up and fucked up so that you can take care of stuff that he's supposed to be taking care of? He's the man. He's supposed to be taking care of everything that needs to be taken care of around the house. Everything. So if he got the ants outside, you got the dishes inside, Miss Ma'am. You got the washer and dryer inside. You know, you want to be productive. You want to show him that you can be helpful. Bring the car to the shop for his oil change without him having to say nothing about it. That's what you do. Go to the store and go buy some groceries without the food running out in the fridge. That's what you do. Take some of his suits to the dry cleaners and get stains out because you can't get stains out. That's what you do. You know, solve some problems that he's not solving. But the marriage isn't eroding because he's catering to your every need. The marriage is eroding because you're being a bitch and you're trying to dominate him. And because you can't dominate him because he maintains his position as a dominant person in your relationship, you feel insecure and insignificant because you are no longer the authority. But you have to understand that, truth be told, if he allowed you to be the authority in a relationship, you'll lose respect for him faster than you're losing respect for him because he's not allowing you to be the authority. But that's a you thing. That's not a him thing. That's not something that he's going to have to change. And then another thing I want to just point out is that men don't give a fuck what your education is. I can tell you right now, I got 3 degrees, but that doesn't mean that I'm a fucking rocket scientist. And just because you've got one in IT, that doesn't mean that he got you because you were smart. He got you because you were fucking capable. He got you because you were capable. You explained your hard knock life. You was able to learn on your own. You was able to achieve on your own. You was able to be self-sufficient on your own. He wants a self-sufficient woman that is not going to weigh him down so that he can build up with her. He's doing all the hard stuff. You got the easy stuff. Instead of you doing the easy stuff, you're bitching because you can't do the hard stuff. Then you're going to say, oh, well, we're not talking about marriage problems. No, because there's nothing to fucking talk about. There ain't shit to talk about. He got it. So whatever he didn't get, you go do that. You want to be useful? Go do what he didn't do. And men who want women to do certain things, they'll make sure that she knows, because if he doesn't tell her, you know what he's going to do? He's going to not do that. So if for some reason he's an overly capable guy, but the dishes aren't getting done on a regular basis, the laundry isn't getting done on a regular basis, dust is starting to build up in the house, there you go. He is showing you by not doing that that is what he expects you to do. I mean, it is what it is. Like you're trying to make it, you're making nothing out of something, or making something out of nothing, however you want to look at it. Either way it goes, you're starting shit where shit don't exist. And y'all have been together for almost 2 years now. And look, statistics say that relationships don't last more than 2.9 years. 2 years and 9 months is the extent of relationships, because selfishness, greed, lust, and then when the lust fades and the selfishness is unfulfilled and the greed is unfulfilled, you break up because you're not there for the companionship. You're not working it out for the sake of working it out. You're not in it for the long haul. You're just in it. And truth is, the whole reason why you're not satisfied with the situation that you're in is because your expectations is beyond the situation that you chose. But you knew what situation you was getting in. It's not like he's failing you because he had promised you to do certain things that he's not doing. No. He told you exactly what he was going to do for you. He's doing it, and you thought that he was going to do more than that. But what are you doing to show him that he should be doing more than that? More like when you told me like everything that you learned about yourself, all of your abilities to get yourself a job so that you could work. And I mean, women fought for more responsibility, but that don't change the fact that nowhere in there did you say that you learned how to take care of your husband. Nowhere in there did you learn how to be a partner. You learned how to be self-sufficient. You learned how to be your own leader, but you didn't learn how to be a good partner. He's doing all the shit that he's supposed to do, and then you don't even know what the fuck you're supposed to be doing. And you're like, oh, well, how do I become useful to him? Find out what's not getting done and go do it. That's how you're useful. Or as disrespectful as this sounds, sit down and shut the fuck up. Because I mean, if you're the most useful person in his life, if you can bring him peace. So if you're bitching, you're not bringing him peace. So that means that if you really want to show him that you are useful, make his house go back to being quiet. Guarantee you he'll love you to death for that, because he's got everything else. He's got everything else. So let's go ahead and we got to think one or two more.
My boyfriend, who is 26, I am 24, am dealing with a real problem. Last night, my boyfriend found a condom under his bed pillow. The wrapper was there ripped, and the condom outside the wrapper was broken, but unused. Oh, and it's the same brand we use. We live with a roommate who's sleeping in the same room as my boyfriend when my boyfriend is not in my room with me. The night before the condom was found, my boyfriend slept in that room. I genuinely do not know why it was under the pillow, how it got there, or why it was there. He asked us both. My roommate denies it is his, and I also tell him it's not mine. He leaves it says by tonight somebody better fess up or he will pack up and go. Me and our roommate have been talking all day, trying to figure out how, what, when, where, and why, but we don't understand how it even got there. So my question is, what would you do in my boyfriend's position? Would you believe your girlfriend or would you bail? And is there any way to prove I am not lying?
Hell no. So, okay, let me paint this picture so that you understand exactly what the fuck you just said. You got a 2-bedroom. Your boyfriend and another man lives in one room. You stay in another room. And whenever you fucking him, your boyfriend comes over and stays in the same room with you. So you got 2 beds in one room and 1 bed in another room. And the room that's got the 2 beds in it, one of them belonged to him, and that bed got a used condom in it that he didn't put in the bed. There go your problem right there. That's the problem number one. Now, it ain't in your bed where he could say that it was because of you and him. It's in his bed, which means somebody was fucking in his bed. If it wasn't his roommate, it was you. Because y'all don't got a 4th person coming in the house. It's just the 3 of y'all. He didn't do it. He not sleepwalking, ripping open condoms and leaving them under his pillow. That means that somebody ripped open a condom for whatever reason. Condom was broken. Didn't get a chance to use that one. Didn't mean that you didn't use another one. So, strong possibility, somebody was fucking in the room. Y'all could have been fucking in the room, in the bed next to his bed and threw the condom onto his bed. But because that is the brand that y'all use, you and your boyfriend use that brand of condom. That means that that's one of y'all's condoms. Y'all don't store condoms under the pillow. People store condoms in a drawer. They store condoms in a condom box, and the condom box might be in a bathroom, in a cabinet, in a closet, in a shoebox under the bed, never in the bed under the pillow. Where if it was under the pillow, that means it was in the bed under the sheets. And if it happened the day before he got into bed to go to sleep, that means that somebody was fucking in his bed while he wasn't in his bed. If he was in your bed, then his friend did it. If he was at work, then y'all was fucking in his bed. And then when he came home, he's sleeping in the bed that y'all was fucking in, and he ain't even clean the sheets. And you're sitting over here telling me that he found this, and y'all are going to pretend like y'all ain't do nothing? Now, let's go from the hypothetical mesmerizational bullshit for you to say, well, what if this just randomly popped up out of nowhere where you, as the girlfriend, did not do it? Then that means that the roommate did it. Sabotaging your relationship. He's tired of hearing y'all fucking. He's going to break y'all up. Because there's only 3 people there. Casper the Friendly Ghost is not coming into your house dropping condoms. So, one of the 3 of y'all, and really the 2 of y'all, because it's not the boyfriend that's complaining about it. So either the roommate or you, the girlfriend, went and grabbed some condoms and was fucking around with condoms in this man's bed. And I'm just going to be real with you. As an adult, nobody opens a condom and blows balloons. Nobody opens a condom and fills it with water and turns it into water balloons. And you can clearly see that the particular condom, as you described it, was open and the condom was damaged. So the intent to utilize that condom was stifled by the fact that that condom was damaged, which means that the potential for sexual activity to have occurred would have been there. So there's no evidence that leads to the fact that you're not fucking the other roommate. There's no evidence that leads to the fact that the roommate wasn't fucking in his room, in his bed. And since there's no evidence that could justify what's going on, if I was that man, I would be leaving. I would not even give y'all the opportunity to try to explain that shit because I didn't put that condom in the bed. And since the boyfriend has sex with you in your room, he's not having sex in his own bed. So there are no used condoms in his bed, which means that the only way that a used condom would be in his bed is if somebody put it there, whether they were fucking in his bed or fucking near his bed. And back to, that's either the person that is sleeping in the room with him or you, whether you want to admit it or not. So, solve that problem, leave. Then he doesn't have that problem. But I'm going to be real with you, though. Y'all should not be in a relationship where you and him are sleeping in 2 different rooms. He should be in the same room with you if y'all got a roommate. And yeah, I would not be roommating with another dude with my girlfriend. That's just markings of disasters. And ladies, correct me if I'm wrong. Would you really be sharing your boyfriend with 2 or 3 other female roommates in your house or your apartment or your loft or your flat? Because personally, I believe that that's setting up for disaster, because while you might trust your partner, temptation is a very, very powerful thing. And all it takes is seduction from a not so loyal roommate to corrupt your partner. And that goes for any gender. So with that being said, it makes no sense to me why the 3 of y'all got a used condom in the man's bed and the man ain't had nothing to do with that used condom. And y'all ain't shagging it up 3 times a week, or all 3 of y'all sharing one another. So the fact is that if you 2 are supposed to be exclusive, then who's fucking in his bed? Because he was in your bed. So, yeah, this shit don't make sense. You got to make it make sense for me. All right. So I really appreciate you guys coming to the show tonight. We got a show live every night, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 5 Pacific. For those of you that are in Romania, we're I do believe 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning right now, or 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, because we typically last another hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes. And we appreciate you guys looking at us from all over the world. Yeah, make sure that you guys like and subscribe. I know I've seen a few of you like today. Make sure that you hit that like button, hit the follow me button. We're trying to get to at least the 10,000 that we need to get a stream key, so we can kind of incorporate all of you guys. I got multiple different streamers going on right now. That's why you see the picture, because I've got Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube on the other side over here to go along with TikTok. So, we got a lot of stuff going on. Make sure that you take a look at our membership store, because it's something to see. You guys will be able to get you some this and that merchandise, whether we give you advice for your relationships, you guys just entertained by what we do. You can throw us some diamonds and show us some love to support the podcast, or do some special likes, special things, special emojis, special comments, and throw a little something to the podcast. And then we can use that to cover the overhead, because the podcast ain't cheap. podcast ain't free. So beyond that, I'm gonna thank you guys for coming to the show. But I'm gonna say before I let you guys go on TikTok is that, ladies, I ask you this every night of the week. Is as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm gonna ask you, ladies, to make it make sense. So, ladies, please make it make sense. And as I sign out of TikTok, I'm gonna thank you guys over on YouTube side for YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and damn, I can't remember who else is there. I want to thank you guys for hanging around, showing us love. Really appreciate it. We had some really good followers over here. Liberty Twitcher and Silly Emma and Red. There you go, Red Boy. I'm just talking about you. I see it popped in. We really appreciate you guys for coming to the show. Hopefully you've been hanging out for a lot. Hopefully you've been enjoying the show, and if not, you can always go back. I always, for you guys over on Twitch side, I always put the whole live stream up there published, and the published live streams stay up there for 7 to 10 days. So if you missed the show because you got here late, but you still want to watch the show, you can always go to the main portion of the profile and just click on today's show. And you get to watch today's show, yesterday's show, today's Sunday. So you can really watch all of the shows that came from Tuesday up until today, because it's a revolving 10 days of 7 to 10 days worth of videos that's up there. So you'll be able to see the last week worth of episodes that I have post recorded. So you don't have to worry about missing the show if you're not able to come to the live at the time of the live. You can always just watch the show during the day while you're on your lunch break, listen to it while you're riding the car. You can like really put some time in and enjoy some of the content that I have, because we are live 7 days a week, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 5 Pacific. And I got a lot of new shorts coming up on the YouTube side. So if you want to see some of the stuff that we've been posting, you can always slide over to the YouTube side and start you up a whole click on our playlist, because a playlist actually has about 1,000 videos on there. So you got like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you hit on one of the playlists, you got every fucking show, every short, every primary, this and that topic right there in the This and That podcast playlist. And that'll help you catch up on what we've been talking about. And then whenever we have a show, you can just dive in and just fill yourself in on what today's topic is. So with that being said, I really appreciate you guys coming to the show. I really appreciate y'all's support. Thank you very much. And I'm going to be your host, as always, on This and That, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. And y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all tomorrow.